In the mid-1800s, the industrial age roared in on a cloud of steam. For nearly 100 years, locomotives like the Sierra 3 crisscrossed the country by the thousands, only to be replaced with modern diesel engines. Their pounding hearts stilled forever. Most were sold for scrap and disappeared. But our love affair with these great beasts didn't die, and some were saved. And a very few never stopped working. The Sierra Railroad has operated continuously since 1897, with the number 3 as its most powerful and glamorous locomotive. The Sierra 3 has seen it all. Built in 1891, she has become the most famous locomotive in the world, starring in hundreds of films. She's now owned by the California Parks Department and is in pieces at the Jamestown Rail Yard in Jamestown, California, 80 miles north of Sacramento. California will do everything it can to restore number 3. Over her life, she's made millions for the state. She can do it again. But now, like the Tennessee Williams character Blanche Dubois, she'll have to depend upon the kindness of strangers. As the great treasures of the past slowly disappear, so do our stepping stones to the future. Nothing left to tell us who we were or how we got where we are. I'm Bob McNeil. I just restored a 109-year-old steam yacht. It's not just me. A lot of people are waking up to the fact that we'd better save the best of our past while we can. He's been a movie star for almost 90 years and only stopped a few years ago.
The Sierra 3 was one of the first engines on the property. It helped build the railroad. Back then, there was a tremendous boom on the West Coast here. So it's when there was a need for a lot of lumber. And still to this day, this railroad still hauls lumber products. That's their number one income source.
This locomotive was built by the Rogers Locomotive and Machine Works in Paterson, New Jersey. Today, there's about 14 or 15 left in existence and only 5 still in operation. There's 2 in New Zealand, 1 in Canada, 1 in Kentucky, and then the Sierra number 3.
In 1897, it came here and started operating. It's been here ever since. It wasn't until the late teens, early 20s when Hollywood actually discovered what was here.
American Western movies have always been a very popular genre of movie making. And, you know, some of the classic elements of that are wide open space with no power lines in it, which we have here. And you need a locomotive that looks like it was built during the time of the Westerns, you know. And the Sierra number 3 fits that bill. It was built in 1891, and it has that classic old locomotive look.
You want to call me that? Smile.
Hey, listen, you. You blow that whistle again, and I'll blow you right out of that cab.
Tracks are one thing, but trains running on them are another.
Get that pile of tin warmed up and take us into town. You heard him, Gus. Fire up. We're going back to work. Coming around the bend.
whether they know it or not, most people have seen this locomotive in a movie because it is one of the most widely filmed steam locomotives. It's still one of the oldest ones in existence. So really, it was the movies in a lot of ways that saved this facility and these locomotives.
She had survived the scrapyards of World War II, continuing to star in movies and television. Finally, tired and broken, she just couldn't work any longer, steaming into the Jamestown station for the last time in 1998.
I was expecting it kind of to be all together in one shed or one storage area, but it was scattered everywhere. Initial shock was we've got a grant for, X amount of dollars, and then when you come out and look at the existing site, existing field conditions, it's going to take a lot more money than what the grant was originally agreed upon.
A couple years ago, they started disassembling the locomotive. The disassembly, assessment, and cleaning was pretty much all we were doing for a long time.
The roundhouse and shops are original, and one of only 2 such complexes in the country to survive as working rail operations. The shop has its original tools, many of which have been used to work on Sierra 3 over the past 100 years, and are being used in her current restoration. The ingenuity, craftsmanship, and engineering of the late 1800s is astounding. That's why she's lasted so long.
What is it, the 4 elements, water, air, earth, and fire? Well, the steam locomotive has all of it. The steel being the earth, the minerals from the earth, and the fire and the water and the air, they become alive. It's almost, I don't know how to say it, an iron horse.
When there's steam in the boiler, it does take on lifelike characteristics, it really does.
It'll be amazing to see it running. I've already been getting inquiries from people outside of the country who are planning on coming for the debut. We don't want to end up with a replica. We want the real heart and soul of the original machine. We're not restoring it in order to put it on display in a museum where it will sit. We're restoring it so that it can actually operate.
But once the water is in the boiler and the fire lit, she has a will of her own.
It's alive!
Yippee! Want to see it again?
Glistening in the sun, the renewed Sierra 3 steams through the California countryside on her way to the party in Jamestown. George lets her fly over the rails. Everything is operating perfectly. A team of dedicated artists and craftspeople have brought the most famous locomotive in the world back to life. Sierra 3 will once again steam into Jamestown Station to pick up passengers or a movie crew. She's good for another 100 years, but who will be around to take care of her? If the skills that rebuilt her are not passed along, the Sierra Railroad could become, like so many historical places, just a memory. Rusting tracks threading through a meadow. But for now, at least, she's a star again.
She's ready for a close-up.
Making what's old new again, I have put my life energy into fixing the number 3. Monday through Friday, blood, sweat, tears, joy, frustration, dedication is how I make my living. Giving back to the past, preserving knowledge for those yet to come.